Hey folks, Mark Devine here. Welcome back to Mark's Daily Brief. I was on a call the other day with a bunch of active duty and former SEALs and a few other experts in elite level performance psychology. And the discussion was about cognitive performance, right? And the various ways that the Western world and academia is starting to parse cognitive development, healing, and what a term that we're smiling about, but cognitive functional fitness. And a question came up toward the end of this conversation about whether that type of training, the training to really improve cognitive performance, will affect the ethical or contribute to more ethical decision making while under pressure or in the field, or in this context, in combat. And it got me thinking. I didn't have a chance to respond to this, although I have a very distinct view on this. But I didn't think my view would be necessarily accepted in that setting. And that is that you can do all the mental training in the world, all the meditation and visualization that you want, and it's not going to affect your ethical stance unless you are also doing the training with a specific intention of evolving yourself to a higher stage of consciousness or higher stage of development. So like my friend Ken Wilber says, we can wake up to our incomplete stories and what it means to be human, but then we need to grow up, and there's very specific developmental stages. And your ethical stance and what do you believe to be ethical is going to be different in each of these stages, because these stages will really bring a completely different worldview and understanding. And the stages tend to be more inclusive as you go up the stages. So, the three dominant stages are egocentric, ethnocentric, or world-centric. So an egocentric warrior who's on the battlefield is going to have a different set of ethical principles than a world-centric warrior. So it's something to think about. So you could go and spend 20 years meditating for arousal control to calm yourself down or bleed off combat stress and still stay stuck at the egocentric stage of development. It's not going to affect your ethical decision making at all. Or you can use these practices in an attempt to evolve your consciousness to the highest stage. And that's going to essentially shift the way you use and the why behind the use of the specific tools. And then when you evolve, you'll make a completely different set of ethical decisions, especially when under pressure. So there are two different things going on here. We want to improve the cognitive performance and to ensure that our brain and our mind are working effectively together, and that we're tapping into that whole mind while simultaneously growing through the higher stages of development until we have that universal care and concern perspective, so that we can make the best decisions when under pressure. Hoo-yah. See you next time. Divine out.